The world of celebrity trials is no stranger to drama, but what's happening in the courtroom with Sean Diddy Combs is nothing short of a spectacle. As accusations loom that could destroy his empire, all eyes are now on the jury. Will they be able to separate fact from the frenzy of media coverage? We've seen him shine at the biggest stages, draped in designer threads, greeting fans with that signature Diddy swag. But today, all of that glitz and glamour takes a backseat to something much more serious. As the hip-hop mogul walks into a federal courtroom, his fame doesn't shield him from the heavy accusations he's facing. If you've been living under a rock, let me catch you up. Combs stands accused of sex trafficking, allegedly forcing women into participating in freak-offs, sex performances involving male sex workers. This scandal has rocked the entertainment industry, and now, with his freedom on the line, the focus is shifting to one critical thing: who will be sitting on that jury? Combs has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers argue that the actions described in the indictment were consensual. But given the media's portrayal, the public seems to have already made up their minds. So now it's time for his defense team to find those rare individuals, jurors who are free of preconceived notions. Combs isn't just a rapper or producer, he's a brand. Known for his lavish lifestyle and iconic status in hip-hop, his every move has been documented, analyzed, and critiqued. And now his past is coming back to haunt him. With documentaries, podcasts, and years of media speculation on his life, will he even stand a chance in front of a jury that's already read about his every move? As the trial date looms, the focus is not just on the evidence, it's on the jury. How can Combs' defense find jurors who haven't already made up their minds based on sensational media coverage?
When a celebrity is involved in a trial, the celebrity status becomes very important. Jurors are starstruck, they have favorites, they see a celebrity. It's very different than just seeing a regular person. And so in most cases where the allegations aren't that egregious or it's kind of a one-time situation, the jurors become very sympathetic towards the celebrity. And it can have an impact. Here, however, I think it's much different because I think the case has become the celebrity. It's not really P. Diddy anymore, it's the salacious allegations, the egregious conduct, which have not completely but largely tainted his celebrity status. So now it's about, hey, can we get jurors that can maybe put aside what they've read or their personal animus and focus on the facts.
Jury consultant Christina Marinakis elaborates, stressing the need for jurors who come in with a blank slate.
As a defense side, you're really wanting to get jurors that have not heard anything about this case or know very, very little about it, so that they come in with a truly blank slate and that hasn't had any type of bias, even unconscious bias from what they've heard in the media.
Courtroom sketches captured the tense atmosphere as Combs sits with his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, strategizing. His future lies in the hands of a jury that, as of now, may already have their minds made up. Finding unbiased jurors isn't just about asking questions. It's about digging deep into potential jurors' backgrounds to uncover any hidden biases. The defense team wants to avoid what they call stealth jurors, individuals who might fill out a questionnaire with limited information, hiding their personal opinions to manipulate the deliberation process.
Jury selection is not really about picking the right jury. It's about getting off jurors that are not good for the case. It's about eliminating bad jurors. So you want to do that through any bias, through any personal animus that they have, people that are not going to change their mind.
Christina Marinakis shares the defense's strategy.
The government's approach to the questionnaire is to try to rehabilitate jurors, to get them to say that they can set aside anything they've heard, they can be fair and impartial, and trying to preserve those jurors. Whereas the defendant's questionnaire is really focused on eliciting that bias, identifying any potential pre-existing opinions and beliefs that people hold, and how that might affect their review of the evidence, with the goal of getting those jurors excused for cause or bias, so that they can really end up with a panel that has not heard much about the case at all.
In today's world, social media is more powerful than ever, and it's playing a major role in this case. The defense is actively searching for inconsistencies between jurors' online profiles and what they've listed on their questionnaires. If there's any sign of dishonesty, they won't hesitate to remove that juror from the panel.
The biggest fear is what we call a stealth juror. It's a juror who puts very little on their questionnaire, who doesn't seem to have any issues, and they're lying in wait to assert their agenda in the deliberation room. And so you may have noticed they ask about the juror's social media involvement and ask about what accounts they have, I can guarantee you that they are attempting to find these accounts of these jurors and prospective jurors and looking up their social media accounts to see, is the persona that they've put on their questionnaire matching the persona that they've depicted of their online selves, or are there some inconsistencies there? And whenever we see inconsistencies between someone's online presence and their juror questionnaire, that is a red flag to exercise a peremptory strike on someone like that. This involves a lot of sensitive issues, and on the background questionnaire involves a lot of sensitive issues. So if you want jurors to be candid and honest, the court needs to give them some protection of anonymity to get them to open up and be candid in that questionnaire, which is really the goal of these questionnaires. So I think that's one major reason. The other is to protect jurors from any potential harassment from people. Right now with online and the social media, it is very easy for strangers to get in touch with people. So we're wanting to protect those jurors' confidentiality, wanting to also protect them from being unduly influenced by outside sources. Could you imagine if the names of the jurors are released and now those jurors are getting bombarded with messages on social media, on email, people at work are pinging them, hey, I heard you're on the Sean Combs trial. So I think there's several, to protect the jurors' confidentiality, but also to protect the integrity of the trial and to encourage the jurors to be candid in their questionnaires.
After the questionnaires, the next step in the jury selection process is voir dire, where Judge Arun Subramanian will personally question potential jurors. This is the time to identify any biases or prejudices they might have that could compromise the trial's fairness. As the judge and legal team scrutinize each juror, the charges against Combs weigh heavily in the room. His fate hangs in the balance as the jury is formed, composed of individuals who must look beyond the media circus and focus on the law. The most important factor in jury selection? Media influence. With documentaries, podcasts, and constant headlines portraying Combs in the worst possible light, how can any juror possibly avoid forming an opinion before they even set foot in the courtroom? The courthouse steps stand as a reminder of what's at stake for Combs. With cameras flashing and reporters swarming, it's impossible to avoid the media circus surrounding the trial. The final stages of jury selection will determine the course of this trial. Can Combs' defense team find a group of jurors who can ignore the media frenzy and base their verdict on the evidence presented? Will the public perception of Combs' guilt influence the trial? These are the questions that will soon be answered. As the world watches, Combs' fate is in the hands of 12 jurors and 6 alternates, each of whom must be capable of setting aside bias and making a decision grounded in the facts, not the headlines,